Hi everyone, I'm Val from Grailzee and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we're talking about one of the hottest trends in the world of watches, which I like to call the vintage watch craze. So before I get started, don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube and follow us on all of our social media at Grailzee. In an era of smartwatches and screens everywhere we go, the resurgence of vintage watches felt like an obvious side effect. But why are people gravitating towards vintage watches right now? Now, vintage watch collectors have always been around, but something that felt like a very quirky and specific niche has now become part of, dare I say, almost every big-time watch collector's collection. Celebrities like John Mayer, Kevin Hart, and even Jay-Z often wear vintage watches. But I've seen them wear these more specifically for special occasions. And there's definitely a reason behind this. A special occasion definitely deserves a truly special timepiece. And what's more rare than a rare vintage timepiece? Certainly not a modern one. And that's definitely a key factor in collecting vintage, the hunt. Finding a particular model of a very specific year in good condition can definitely be a challenge. But it definitely feels more rewarding than just walking into an AD and buy whatever they offer you. And at the end of the day, if you were a vintage watch, you're literally carrying a piece of history with you that reflects a very specific time and style. And this is definitely a huge factor in why people collect vintage. Some examples I really like to mention whenever talking about this are Speedmasters from the 70s and Submariners from the 60s. Because even though these models have been tweaked over the years, they truly have stood the test of time. And owning an early iteration of these models truly feels like it's the closest you can get to the real essence of the piece. These pieces really transport you to a different time, from military issued watches from World War II to the hottest thing right now, which are Art Deco. And the brand that definitely stands out to me the most right now with Art Deco has to be Cartier. More specifically with all their tank models and of course the band noir. From the weird case shapes to all kinds of strap options and even bangles, these models feel incredibly foreign to what we view as a modern watch. And some other brands that are definitely noteworthy when it comes to Art Deco would have to be JLC with the Reverso, many Piagets, and even vintage Pateks. And wearing these timepieces definitely can make any outfit feel special and makes you stand out. Which takes me to my other point on why vintage is so hot right now. Everyone wants to stand out and be different. And vintage pieces deliver this like no one else. It also creates the impression of having a more curated look. And someone who I think does this incredibly well is rapper Tyler, the Creator. From his jewelry to his clothes and of course watches, everything feels curated and like a part of him, which I think is a huge contrast between vintage and modern. Sometimes it feels like modern timepieces like a Richard Mille walk in the room before you, and with vintage pieces, they really feel like an extension of your personal style. And I know most of you are probably also interested in the financial aspect to owning vintage, and there definitely is financial incentive. Now, disclaimer, I don't personally view watches as sound, proper investments. I always say you should get what you like, you're gonna wear it and enjoy it, and if you end up losing money, making money, or breaking even, that's just the name of the game. However, a specific case that stands out to me when it comes to vintage are vintage Pateks, which are not only rare to find, but also very, very sought after and expensive. So there you have it. And as the trend of vintage watches continues to rise in popularity, and I definitely don't think this trend is going anywhere anytime soon, they have become way more than just a quirky fashion statement. They truly reflect who you are and what you value in watchmaking. But what I love the most about vintage watches is that it's its own little universe. With so many brands and different options, there's definitely something there for everyone. And even though finding these pieces can be a little more challenging, at Grailzee, we make it easy. So if you're looking to get into the vintage watch game, we have some fabulous timepieces to kickstart your collection at Grailzee.com. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. And if you guys have any other topics you would like to see covered, we'll see you in the comments.